Aside all malice and all guile and all hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings. As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious. Tonight, want to help us, instruct us, teach to us from this thought. And this is the thought I need to use, so just flow with me. Staying a dependent. Staying a dependent. Don't want to title it Staying Dependent. I want to title it exactly what I just said. Staying a dependent. Staying a dependent. Now, Sister Balk Knight, you really helped me today, whether you know it or not. I was praying, what your pastor talks about doing a lot, which we're going to catch on to. But I was praying today, and when I was praying, I'm saying, well, God, okay, a lot of thoughts bouncing around, a lot of things going on since Lipscomb. So I said, well, God, just show me where to lay my weight. Show me where to focus my attention for the teaching tonight. And I prayed that. I believed he heard me. I knew he heard me. I have been reading for the last couple of days, bless you, anyway. And I said, okay, God, I hear this. That sounds exciting, but I don't know if that's for now. So I'm listening, and somehow, Sister Foster, I end up picking my phone up, right? And picked my phone up and saw that I had some notifications through social media. So I clicked on it, and I said to myself, Brother Foster, I said, well, what am I doing? Talk to myself. I'm supposed to be trying to get into this word.
Yes, sir.
How am I on Facebook? And as I was on Facebook, I saw Sister Balk Knight make a comment relative to something about graduation or something like that with Chris. And I scrolled a little further, Rochelle, and I saw some other comments, pictures about people graduating and various celebrations. And I said, this is interesting, Sister Asia. I said, maybe the Lord is supposed to be telling me something even while I'm looking at Facebook. And I said, well, okay, so I keep scrolling through, and I'm seeing all this graduation and commencement stuff. I said, Lord, am I supposed to teach on graduation? Wait, help me understand, D, what's going on? Give me some wisdom here, God. What you trying to tell me? And as I'm scrolling through Rochelle, the Lord said, son, go to 1 Peter chapter 2. Wow. I said, okay. So I go to 1 Peter chapter 2. And I see the scripture says, as newborn babes, we're supposed to desire the sincere milk of the word. I said, okay, God, I'm hearing you. He said, son, now all I want you to do, and this, he gave me the 3 verses, and he gave me a thought. He said, I want you to teach staying a dependent. I said, okay, here it is. My history is that of accounting, numbers, tax stuff. That's what I did for a number of years before God sent me this way full time to preach this gospel. And one of the questions that I used to have to ask people, Sister Lipscomb, when I was doing their taxes, would be, how many dependents do you have? I know Sister Thompson is very familiar with that question. How many dependents do you have? And they would begin to tell me, they would maybe 2, 3, or whatever it was. If it was the blacks, it would be 10 or whatever it is they had. Amen. But so we thank God. So I began to think, Sister Neil, I said, okay, God, what does that really mean? And I began to look up the word dependent. And dependent says, woman of God, this is a person that relies totally upon the help of another. Totally. I feel them already today. I'm just going to be teaching tonight, Jesus. So don't push me. Okay. One that totally depends upon the help of another. A true dependent really, Sister Foster, cannot stand without the aid of their support system. They can't. You're pushing me already. Don't do me like that. They can't eat. They can't drive. They can't hardly think.
Yes, sir. Can't breathe. Yes, sir.
They can't care for themselves without the aid of the provider. So I begin to say, God, what are you trying to tell me about these pictures that I'm seeing? About these graduates that I'm seeing? About these people that I'm seeing? So he said, well, look it up, son. That's how God tells me sometimes. Now, he don't just tell me, look it up. Stop asking him all the time. Look it up. And so I began to look up what a graduate was, or what a graduation is. A graduation is actually, check this out, Sister Lipscomb, the beginning of a new chapter.
Come on, teach, sir.
I began to really think, Sister Neal, because a lot of us, during our time of graduation, we really weren't necessarily too excited about the new chapter. As much as we were about the excitement of coming out of the last season.
That's good, sir.
Wow.
So God said, son, even though they are completing something, the goal is for them still to remain in a place where they're dependent on others to help them in their new chapter.
Yes.
And I said, okay, God, I get it. I said, now, that's great if I'm getting ready to do like Sister Lipscomb and do this for a graduation. That's exciting.
Right.
Okay, I really felt the anointing. I said, well, God, how does this apply to Bethel Temple Faith Church? He said, son, because I got to get you to understand, or get them to understand, that they got to learn to become totally dependent on me.
That's right.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Totally.
Wow.
The thing that people like Chris and Diaviana, those that are here with us tonight, will say upon graduation, Brother Evans, a lot of times we hear this I'm grown phrase. We hear this, I've now arrived because the law has now made me legal in some aspects and areas. But the reality is, even when we go back to taxes and things like that, I'm going to get to the breakdown of the scripture, Sister Constance, it really is known and applicable that a person technically in the eyes of healthcare is a dependent until age 26.
Wow.
Which means that if they needed to ride the coattail of their parent, even though they are an adult, they may be living on their own, but yet they can ride the coattail of another being called a dependent. I began to think about how somebody 25, Sister Akasha, who's grown, who's married, who's got life going, who makes their own money, who drive their own car, who has their own husband, yet has the ability to still be dependent on another.
That's amazing.
And God says, son, I need you to help the people understand that even when they're 95,
That's around. This is good.
they got to learn how to be totally dependent upon me.
That's right.
Now, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but your pastor has to depend on God.
Oh, yes.
Right. Thank you.
Now, Sister Bortnight, if your leader has to be dependent upon God,
Right.
what makes us feel like we don't have to be dependent on God? What makes us, I'm going to mess you up a little bit tonight, and I'm going to come clean you up before it's over, but what makes us feel like we're supposed to escape trouble in our life?
Oh.
What makes us get this notion that because I'm saved, and we're going to talk about salvation tonight too, that because I'm saved, I'm supposed to now not have to go through issues that require me to be dependent on God? Here's the truth right here, Sister Coop. God showed me something. He gave me a Polaroid tonight. I know that's old school, but y'all stick with me. He gave me a picture tonight, and he said, Rochelle, a lot of the reason why we go through what we go through is for us to develop dependence on Him.
Oh, that's good.
He says, once you understood that all of your help actually comes from me,
Yes.
I'll lift some of this stuff you're going through.
My God. Gotta understand.
But I'm going to keep the
Yes.
problems before you until you learn that you've got to be completely dependent on me.
Yes, sir. Come on, preacher.
Now, complete dependence looks a little different from partial dependence. Because Riley is completely dependent on Mama Coop.
Yeah. Mama Coop.
Sky
Yeah.
is partially dependent on Mama Kiana.
Yes.
Here it is. Here's the difference. Now, baby Riley can try to crawl around and get into stuff, but if you tell her just to sit down and eat, she gonna look at you like you're crazy. She might put her fingers in some stuff. It might end up in her hair. Might end up in the floor. It might end up in her toes. Because as a fully dependent child, she needs somebody to feed her.
Yes.
Now, Sky, on the other hand, the queen of all food, if you tell Sky, I got a plate for you, go eat. She can sit down on her own.
Yeah.
She can eat her food. She can get her own napkin. She can get her own drink.
Yes.
So she's not completely dependent on the help of another in order for her to be sustained.
Yes.
And because there is only a partial dependence, it creates now the possibility for her to get in greater trouble.
Oh, how about that?
Become independent.
Because when I feel like I can do it on my own, I start saying stuff like, I don't need your help. When I've done it on my own before, I'm good. You can fall back. I got this.
Yeah.
And that's where the ability to now get in trouble arises, because she's talking to an adult in a disrespectful manner.
Oh.
Help me bring this thing across the night, Jesus. So when I tell God I got it,
I don't have it, God.
I'm talking to my Father
Yes.
in a disrespectful manner. So tonight I want to just teach y'all,
That's heavy.
staying a dependent.
Yes.
All right. When we look at the text tonight, we see that Peter starts off by saying, the first thing we've got to do is learn how to lay aside all malice, all guile, all hypocrisies, envies, and all evil speaking. 1 Peter chapter 2 is where we are tonight. We got to lay aside all malice. Well, shall I began to do a little research, and I said, okay, God, if I'm going to teach this thing tonight, and I got to give him some points, give me some understanding. He said, okay, son, well, the first point you want to give him is the same thing Peter said. We've got to learn, point number 1, how to separate ourselves from malice. In order to separate from malice, I've got to know what malice is. Malice in the Greek is a word kakia. Kakia is K-A-K-I-A. Kakia. Kakia in the Greek means badness. It means malignity. It means trouble. It means evil. It means naughtiness, badness, malignity, trouble, evil, naughtiness. These are words that define the word malice. When the definition is broken down, it says that kakia, or malice, is actually the desire to do evil to others. The desire to do evil to others. It is a wickedness of heart, life, and character. Kakia. So he says we have to learn how to lay aside all desires to do evil to other people. All wickedness of heart, all wickedness of life, and all wickedness of character. Here's the teaching point tonight. Some of us are really okay as it relates to not necessarily wanting to do evil to others, but there's still some flaws in our character. Help me tonight, Jesus. I need your grace. All right. I might not be at a place, Bro Foster, where I'm walking around sticking my middle finger up at people. But I might be at a place where my middle finger is stuck up in my mind.
Wow.
Teaching.
I might not be cursing you with my words, but I'm cursing you in my mind. I might not be spitting on you in the natural, but every time I think about you, a loogie seems to come up.
Really?
You still with me, y'all. You still got a male pastor. All right. So the reality is, so that we got to learn how to separate from all things that make my character wicked. Let me talk about my nephews today. All right, so Harrison and Tony Jr. get the award today. So Minister Black and I were talking the other day, and the man of God began to tell me about Harrison as he's beginning to graduate now to go to 6th grade, get out of elementary school, go into middle school. And his graduation is actually, Mama, in the morning, Thursday morning, tomorrow morning. So Minister Black and I were talking throughout the week, and I said, well, Black, let me know, there's tickets or whatever that required. If there's something available, I'll do my best to try to get there, support my nephew, my member, all these great things. I'll do my best, brush share to get there. And so Minister Black said, well, Pastor, I don't really think there's going to be no tickets, but we'll find out. We'll know. So anyway, he calls me. He says, I found out that, it is, it's just 2 tickets that they give per family. All right, so I said, well, no, hey, y'all go do what you got to do. We love him. We'll see him when it counts. Not that this don't count, because it does, but we'll see him when he walks across the big boy stage. Amen. So in the background, nephew TJ and nephew Harris, Mr. Soundman / audio technician, Mr. Future Keyboardist says, tell him just show up anyway.
Powder it up.
Just tell him, come on, just show up. Don't worry about no ticket. Just show up.
Just show up.
Now, Sister Lipscomb, maybe before I knew Jesus the way I know him,
Yeah.
I might have tried to slide in somewhere.
What a word.
But how is it going to look that the pastor of Bethel Temple Faith Church, knowing he didn't have a ticket, and knowing one wasn't even available, he found himself in the graduation dinner. Thank you, Chris, for laughing. How is that showing character becoming of a preacher? Now y'all thinking and y'all like, yeah, Pastor, that would look crazy for you. Let me flip the script. Would you have done the same thing? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, yeah, I'm going, I'll be there. That's my baby too. I'm gonna get up in there. And that's our problem. Our character is still flawed. We still looking for the hookup. We still looking for the how I can slide in the back door. Not door. How I can slide in. How can I get somebody that's working in ticket booth to turn their head and somebody give me the signal to come on in because they're looking the other way?
Signal.
We still doing it with our same selves. It is malice.
Malice, yes, sir.
It is wickedness. It's no different than flicking people off.
Same thing.
It's the same thing.
Heavy. That's heavy.
All evil. It's all wickedness. You might well be a fornicator. If you still looking for the hookup, you the same as an adulterer. Help me tonight, G.
My God.
You're the same as a murderer. So there has to be a measure of our character coming into balance with the things of God.
That's right.
Here it is, though. When we feel like we've gotten away with it so much, it's become a part of us. We don't even check it no more because it don't even seem like that big a deal. Some of y'all, when I said that, was thinking like, well, Pastor, ain't that serious? It's just a little graduation going up in there. That's what your thoughts were. I know, I'm looking right at it in the spirit. Because when we realize that our character is really what should be leading people to Christ, we'll start behaving differently even when no one's paying attention.
Integrity.
Integrity. What am I doing when the lights are out? Help me tonight, Jesus. What am I doing when nobody else knows what I'm doing?
That's right.
That's why many of us, Sister Paul and I, are dying spiritually because there's some unforeseen character flaws that we're not worried about fixing. We're content being snappy toward people. We're content telling our boss off in our mind. Help me tonight, Jesus. We're content not having connection with folk we're supposed to be connected with. Those are flaws in our character. So God says we've got to learn how to separate.
Good teaching, sir.
Thank you, Minister Black. Separate from malice. It's not just a fighting attitude. It's a character flaw. So when we separate from malice, we have to identify the nature and the character of malice. Here it is. The nature and the character of malice are these two things. It is filthiness and it is naughty. Lord, help me to teach tonight the way I feel it in my spirit. Okay. It is filthy. Malice is filthy and it is naughty. Now, here it is. Something that is filthy is something that I definitely don't want to handle with clean hands.
Help us.
Yes. You know, I got, let's talk about Sister Akasha. Now, she's improved a little bit since she's been Mrs. Jenkins. But before that time, when she was still carrying the Johnson name, Sister Akasha really was freaked out by sweat. Like, really freaked out. I'm talking about Brett Evans. It was kind of scary. Like, are you serious? I mean, everybody sweats. Anyway, so Sister Akasha would come to me after church, and if she was on her game, she would ask me, Pastor, are you sweating? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, bye. You know, that was her thing. But sometimes she wouldn't be on her game, so she would come give me a hug, and she would feel my jacket. She's like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? So she was really freaking out, Minister Black,
yes, sir,
over something that wasn't even filthy. Check this out. It was just wet.
Yes, sir.
Y'all, we catch
Yes,
So if we, as being the type of people we are, don't want to handle filthy things while our hands are clean, my question becomes, why is it so easy for us to be filthy in our character? We don't want clean hands to touch filthy stuff, but we'll be filthy.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Come on.
My God.
Come on.
So until we can get as equally as grossed out with our character
Come on, sir.
as we do with mud,
Come on, sir.
Come on.
Oh, you teach.
we'll start finding that we'll begin to separate from the stuff that doesn't look like God. Now check this out. Check this out. It's a scripture in James chapter 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go. Turn to it, please. James chapter 1. Just go back a little bit, or go up. One of the two. Yeah, go up. Come up with a book. James chapter 1. I want to show you something. I'm talking now about the nature of malice. First thing I told you got to separate from malice. The second portion, the second point is we got to identify the nature or the character of malice. We said that malice was naughty and it was filthy. All right. So James chapter 1. Verses 21 and 22. The scripture says, wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Here it is. Now, if malice is filthy, and it produces the superfluity of naughtiness. Superfluity means the abundance. Something that is superfluous is something that is extra. Let me teach tonight.
Go ahead.
I pray we catch this stuff. I pray we catch this. Okay, superfluity is something that is in abundance. Something superfluous, the other form of the word superfluous, is something that is extra. So here it is. Naughtiness or malice is always extra. Okay. Have you ever met somebody?
Yeah.
Thank you, sister. That for real, everything they do, they just extra. I mean, they just over the top with everything, even when it don't even make sense to be over the top. It's just too much. They're doing too much. They need to take several seats. All right, we need to create some seats for them to take. All right, so this is what I found, Sister Neil, that whenever extra shows up, it's always accompanied by malice.
That's good.
I can identify a malicious person when this person is always, young people, doing the most. Help me today, Jesus. I feel you. Okay, so when I see somebody that's always the extra, they're always the, here you go, how you doing today? Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Oh. Ma'am, please sit down for a moment. You just finished cussing in the parking lot. Yeah, that's where I can identify malice. When they got to give me all the, oh, God is good, isn't he? Yes, yes. And then they want to break out in tongues in the middle of the meeting. Please sit down, ma'am, because I see maliciousness on you. I can identify the malicious nature when I can identify you doing more than what's required. Folk ought to know you saved without your response always being, I'm blessed of the best. Help me today, Jesus. Folk ought to know that you love Jesus before you even open your mouth. Amen. But if I got to do something in my mouth to make me now seem like I'm greater than where I really am, all I'm doing is putting a sign up to somebody that got discernment that I'm really janky. Oh, Jesus.
That's good, sir.
Tonight. Some of y'all probably say, well, Pastor, I say that all the time.
Oh, my.
Maybe we need to rethink and reconsider. Okay. So Sister Lipscomb, I don't never say nothing to teach nothing outside the construct of the word. So now, thank you. Now I'm gonna continue to do that as y'all continue to pray. So as I'm saying this, Bro Evan, and I'm saying because when you're teaching, let me give you a sneak peek because you wanted a newer one. So I need you to get a sneak peek of what's going on in my mind when I'm teaching. So while I'm teaching, I'm also listening, right? So I'm trying to listen to God, but because a lot of people do stuff spiritually, there's interference that happens in my transmission to God. So when they thinking stuff that's crazy, and I'm hearing it, I got to either block it or address it. Okay, so I'm going to address it this time instead of blocking it. So for those that say, oh, I don't know, he kind of all over the place with that, because I think that's a common response for me to say I'm blessed out of favor. Okay, here it is. Paul says in 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, when he's giving order about how things should be flowing and about how things should be in terms of response. One of the things Paul says is that, because the conversation came up in the text in the 14th chapter of 1 Corinthians about people speaking in tongues. It came up to say, that this was really the way that we should be communicating to God, and it is, it's absolutely correct, but they were taking it, they were being malicious, but they were taking it over the top. And Paul comes in and he addresses something, Sister Akash. He says, you know what, for real, I speak in tongues more than all y'all. But yet I would rather speak in tongues 5 words so that I can give a word of understanding to somebody that comes around. So here